Hare Krishna. So we will be reading about Sholinghur Narasimha Swami Divya from the book called 108 Vaishnavite Divya Volume 1 Divya in Tondenadu by Miss Dr. M.S. Ramesh, IAS retired, published by Executive Officer Tirumala Tirupati Devastanam Tirupati. A descriptive study of 23 well-known Vaishnavite shrines of Tondenadu, Dr. Miss M.S. Ramesh, IAS. So we will read about Sri Yoga Narasimha Swami Temple, Sholinghur. Sholinghur, also known as Gatikachalam, is on the Madras-Bangalore trunk road. One can get down at Arakonam Junction and take a bus to Sholinghur, which is about 27 kilometers west of Arakonam. There are also passenger trains which stop at Sholinghur station. The temple is about 9 kilometers from the station. There are also direct buses from Madras city. This town is known by many names. Some call it Gatikachalam. Gatika means a period of time. Achalam means that which does not move, that is a hill. It is believed that Lord in the form of Narasimha appeared before Prahalada and Saptarishis in a Gatika time and gave them moksha. This place is therefore known as Gatikachalam. This place is also known as Solingapuram. It is said that one of the Chola kings found a natural Shivalingam here and built a temple over it and called it the Sholeshwara temple. Hence this place is known as Sola and in course of time had got corrupted to Shola Singapuram and later as Sholinghur. As proof, people refer to a temple for Lord Shiva in the middle of the town. That Shiva temple, though very ancient, is not regarded very highly now, as the temple of Anjaneya and Narasimha have become more famous and the town derives its chief importance from those two temples. Further, as Sholinghur is one of the 108 Divya and the Arvars have sung in praise of this Lord, and the presiding deity of this town is Lord Narasimha, the origin of the name should have more affinity to a Vaishnavite background. Perhaps this place got the name as Shola Singapuram, that is the city of lion god, and it got corrupted in course of time as Sholinghur. There is no Sthala Puranam relating to this temple, but from the Pasharams of the Arvars and from the lives of some of the important devotees of the Lord, one gets to know about the importance of this place and this temple. The Lord here is referred to by different names by the Arvars as Akkarakani, sweet fruit, Mikkan, Takkan, Pukkan, Ilam Gumaran, etc. In Sanskrit, the Lord is known as Bhakto Chidan, that is a Lord who rushes to the rescue of his devotees without minding his difficulties. As one enters the town, one cannot miss the two mountains. One is known as Periyamalai, that is big hill, a lofty hill where Lord resides as Narasimha. The other hill is known as Chinnamalai, that is small hill where Lord Anjaneya presides. The village at the foot of these two hills is known as Konda Palayam. Konda means hill and Palayam means town. This village forms the base for climbing the mountains. The Periyamalai has about 1000 steps. In fact, it is 1305 steps. These are fairly good and well maintained steps. It is believed that these steps were first built by one Raoji. These flight of stone steps lead us to the summit, which is a very cool and airy spot. From there we can have a breathtaking aerial view of the plain country dotted with tanks, cultivated fields, etc. It is believed that the hill rose out of the plains at the command of Bhairaveshwara and continued to rise until it became a lofty that Lord Indra got annoyed and asked Balarama to press it down till it subsided to its present height. There are reportedly 14 holy peaks in the vicinity, but this hill, which is the abode of Lord Narasimha, is the holiest. There is a chow tree built by Raoji to feed the pilgrims who visit the town. Close to the chow tree is a very deep well, claimed by some to be as deep as the temple is high. It was also dug at Raoji's expense. The Lord faces east and is seen as Yoga Narasimha. There is a separate shrine for the Tayar known as Amritavalli. The Moolavar is a very imposing statue depicted in a very peaceful pose. Tirumangai Alvar has called him as Takkan perhaps to convey the meaning Takka Perumayai Udayavan, that the Lord is a very patient and kind person. The Alvar was so lost in admiration and was delighted with the avatar of Lord here that he refers to him as Akkarakani, that is a very sweet fruit. Tirumanjanam, that is holy bath, is performed for the Moolavar only on Fridays and on Narasimha Jayanti day. The Utsav Murti of Lord Narasimha is kept in the Perumal temple in the Sholinghur town and not on the top of the hill. In the Chinnamalai or the small hill, the presiding deity is Yoga Anjaneya. This hill is not so pretentious as its neighbor but enjoys as wide a reputation. The hill is about 200 feet in height. The shrine is facing west, almost as if Lord Anjaneya is facing the shrine of Lord Narasimha. It is said that in no other place can we see Lord Anjaneya with 4 hands and holding Lord Narayana's insignia of Shankha, divine conch and chakra in 2 hands. Some believe that Veera Anjaneya is seen in this unusual form as he is ever ready to carry out the orders of his Lord. It is said that a king by name Indradyumna was ruling Vadamadurai. One day he went hunting and suddenly a deer darted across the road. He chased the deer and reached a place which was full of other deers. The deer which he chased was tired and looked at the hunter with eyes filled with tears, knowing its end had come. It is said that at that time a female deer pleaded with the king for the life of the deer which the king was all set to kill. This touched the heart of the hunter, and the point of meaningless cruelty inflicted through hunting was driven home. The king immediately decided to give up hunting. This same king had earlier killed a Rakshasa by name Kumbhodara. To help the king in that battle against the Rakshasa, Lord Indra is said to have given him his chariot and weapon Vajrayudha. The other gods also gave him all the desired weapons. At that time, at the behest of Lord Narasimha, Lord Anjaneya with 4 arms went to help the king. It is believed that Anjaneya continues to give darshan and rush to the aid of his devotees in the same form in which he helped King Indradyumna. As the Lord in Vishnu Sahasranamam is referred to as having enormous medicinal power with ability to cure the mental and physical ills of his devotees, so also in this place we find that a number of people who are afflicted with mental derangements and who are said to be possessed by evil spirits, etc., take a bath in the Hanumant Tirtham, climb the small hill and enter Lord Anjaneya's temple. Then they lose their self-control, roll about in a frenzy and with disheveled looks, uttering incoherent words. After an hour or two, a little holy water is sprinkled on them. Then they lie down unconscious. When they wake up after some time, they are perfectly sane. Even today, many educated people also firmly believe in this miracle. Many other diseases are also believed to be cured here. The patients spend some days and nights in the town. Every day they climb up the hill and visit the temple. It is said that after some days the Lord appears in their dream and gives them permission to live as they are fully cured. Such are the wonders worked by faith, which is implicit, unquestioned and unswerving. There are many sacred tirthas around this town. The chief is the Brahmatirtham. It is considered as very auspicious to bathe in this tirtham on Thursdays. It is said that when Lord Shiva tore off one of the 5 heads of Brahma, the latter came to this place, dug a pool for his daily bath, worshipped Narasimha Swami till the head grew again. Hence the name Brahma Tirtham. Hanumat Tirtham is on the way to the temple of Lord Anjaneya. It is believed that Anjaneya dug this Tirtham. All the other Tirthas also have stories attached to them. Valmiki Rishi is said to have performed penance at one of the Tirthams for 87,000 years, and after that he was ordered by Lord Narasimha Swami to compose Ramayana. This town Sholinghur has carved for itself a niche in history. Towards the end of 18th century, in 1781 AD, in the Second Battle of Carnatic, this town became a battlefield when a war was waged between the British, who were ruling India at that time, and Hyder Ali, who was ruling Mysore. Sir Eyre Coote was leading the English army. There is a memorial stone near Srinivasa Pushkarani for the Mohammedan warriors who lost their lives in this battle. Sholinghur is well known for its two famous religious devotees. One was Erumbia Appa. He was the important disciple of Manavala Rishi. He lived at a place which was 2 kilometers from Sholinghur known as Erumbi. His name was Varadacharya, but all the people were calling him as Appa, that is father. So he came to be known as Erumbi Appa. That the father who lived in Erumbi. He was an ardent devotee of Lord Narasimha. He wrote slokas in Sanskrit in praise of the Lord. This is known as Amrita Palavalli Sadakam. Amirda Palavalli Satakam. Even today, on the day of Panguni Uttiram, Hanumant Jayanti is celebrated in great glory out of the special trust set up in memory of Erumbiappa. Yet another famous devotee of this place is Doddacharya. This devotee was so fond of Lord Varadaraja of Kanchipuram that without fail he would attend the Garudotsavam of Lord Varadaraja every year. Once, with advancing age, he could not go to Kanchipuram because of ill health. He was feeling very dejected and depressed about this, and in his mind's eye he thought of the Lord seated on his holy Vahana Garuda. He stood on the banks of Takkankulam in Sholinghur. At that time he sang 5 slokas praising Lord Varadaraja. It is known as Devaraja Panchakam, and it is the essence of the outpouring of his heart and the pain is in not being able to see Lord Varadaraja. The Lord at Kanchi with his divine powers knew of this and decided to cheer him up. So when the Lord was taken out in a procession on the Garuda, he had the palanquin bearer stop for a minute at the entrance of the Gopuram and enabled his devotee at Sholinghur to have a glimpse of his divine form on the Garuda. Even today, in memory of that great event, on every Garuda Seva day at Kanchi, the Lord stops near the temple tower for a minute and Karpura Harati is done to him so as to enable devotees even for a distance to have a clear view of him. As proof of this incident, there is a small shrine near the Brahma Tirtham tank at Sholinghur where Lord Varadaraja can be seen seated on the divine bird Garuda. The Garuda Seva for Lord Varadaraja in Sholinghur is synchronized with the time at which it starts at Kanchi. Epigraphy selected references. Sholinghur, as stated earlier, is also known as Gatikachalam. Some refer to it as Shola Simhapuram of the Guru Parampara and the Sholapuri of the Inscriptions. The temple on the local hill dedicated to Lord Narasimha is mentioned in the Prabandhas and is very ancient. The Guru Parampara and Vishwa Guna Darsha of Venkata Dwarin also refers to this place. The founder of the Ahobila Mat Adivan Shadagopa Swami had says the Sat Sampradaya Muktavali to look after the management of the temple. Subsequently, it came into the hands of the influential family of Doddacharya, who was a contemporary of Appaya Dikshita and the famous Koti Kannika Dhanam Tatacharya, who was a learned writer on Vishishtadvaita. On a boulder near the tank, there is an inscription which refers to the 9th year of the Chola king Parandaga I. It mentioned about the Ganga feudatory Prithvipati II Hastimalla, Lord of the Banas. Hastimalla is also known as Lord of Parivipura, perhaps Vilupuram Taluk. This inscription refers to a gift by Parandaga I of a paddy field for the upkeep of the tank. A topographical list of the inscriptions of the Madras Presidency by V. Raghava Rangacharya, Volume 1. A boulder in the Lord Anjaneya temple in Sholinghur also refers to an event in the reign of the Vijayanagara king of Ramadeva Maharaya of Penugonda. Hymnology. Peyalvar and Tirumangayalvar have sung 4 pasurams in praise of the Lord here. Tirumangayalvar Periya Tirumoli, Pasuram number 1731. Mikkanai Marayai Virinda Vilakkai Yannul Pukkanai Pugal Ser Poliginra Ponmalayai Takkanai Kadigai Tadungundrin மிசை இருந்த அக்காரக் கனியை அடைந்துய்ந்த போனேனே. Meaning the God who is above everyone, that is matchless, the God who is the Veda itself, the God who is the eternal glowing light on the top of the hill, the God who is ever in my heart, the God who is glowing like a golden mountain, the God who is fondly known as Takhan, that Akkarakani sweet sugar cane God who is seen seated on the top of the Gatikachalam, I am blessed by him. Divya Kavi Pillai Perumal Iyengar 108 Tirupati Andadi. சீரருளால் நம்மை திருந்தினாம் முன்னறியாக் கூரறிவும் தந்தடிமை கொண்டதற்கே நேரே ஒரு கடிகையும் மனமே உள்ளு கிளாய் முக்தி தரு கடிகை மாயவனைத்தான். Free translation. O mind, will you not at least for a moment think of the Lord at Gatikai, Sholinghur, the Lord who with his unbounded mercy has saved us from our wrong and evil ways, and who has now blessed us with a sharp intellect and a clear mind, and the Lord who will help us to attain moksha.